Well, we might have to, yeah, we might have to do some math on the back of the envelope and just see what we've got and then do like a not to exceed kind of.
Right. Good idea.
I
mean, yes, you could do, yeah, I'm gonna, you could do, not to exceed, and then you would still have the meeting before the actual reception and the finalized cost, because you present it there.
Sure.
If we're doing an early meeting before the 20th suggestion. Okay, it's 5:31, let's give it one more minute. And I want to make sure you have the back doors accidentally, although you all came in.
I didn't try the back door.
Right. Let me make sure.
I didn't sure, well, we're both roosters. I don't remember. What was the number? So we're gonna have to both crow. But anyway.
Everything is open, and a reminder, just turn your microphones on whenever you're speaking and then off again.
It was nice.
Okay, so I think we should go ahead and call the meeting to order. And we have Vice Chair Arjun Gupta standing in as chair for the Heritage and Arts meeting, April 25, Tuesday at 5:32 p.m. Would you like me to do the roll call? Chair Etamad, absent. Vice Chair Gupta.
Here.
Commissioner Farron, absent. Commissioner Fong, absent. Oh, excuse me, Fong. I'm thinking of Fran. I beg your pardon.
Yeah.
I beg your
Too
pardon.
many
I
Fs.
jumped. Commissioner Hall, absent, expected to arrive. Commissioner Mujica Beavers. And Commissioner Noguez.
Here.
Thank you.
Are there any oral communications?
We're seeing none. Oh, pardon me. Richard Rosen would like to speak. Thank you. Didn't see your arm.
Does he have to approach the?
Yes, you do need to sit in that spot because the camera will be on you. Let's make sure that mic is on.
Yeah.
Okay. So I wanted to make a public comment. I wasn't quite sure, how this would be best done, but it's to the commission. So so I have two things that I'd like to make the commission aware of, something that, I've been thinking about. The first thing is that somewhere on a future agenda or some other method, I'd like to discuss the public art selection panel, only because this membership is dwindling and, there are issues with the panel at the moment. So I think it would be best, in my opinion, that the entire commission discuss this subcommittee and just see how it would be best going forward. I'm not advocating for its demise. I'm simply advocating for, its future in terms of what the work of the commission is. And the second thing that I thought I'd bring up to the commission is that after we have seen the completion of the library and the land. Oh.
Commissioner
Shall I
Hall
wait
has
for-
arrived.
Hi, Fran.
Hi, Fran.
Fine.
Hi.
Good to see you.
Yep, careful. Yeah.
Welcome. Please continue, Richard.
Okay. So, and my second point was, now that we've seen the library come to completion and the landscaping is in and all the hardscape is in, et cetera, I would like to suggest to the commission that we look seriously at a placing of a sculpture in Zielinski Park. It just seems to cry out for something in that area. It would still be, I think as previously discussed, it would still be, on town land. But there just seems to be no anchor there. And in terms of an art piece, I just think that we should go ahead and try to strategize. And, and you guys have strategized and placed 2 other public art things, and both seem to be successful. So we're kind of starting from scratch, but I think we should start somewhere and try to get a sculpture there. So that's my public comment. Nice to see you all.
Thank you, Richard.
I will not leave the meeting.
Thank you.
We're on to action items.
Oh, okay. You'd like me to
Read
read
them
that?
off, yeah.
Action item number 1, receive update on Thomas Jackson Public Art Installation, review budget and funds raised to date, and consider approval of specific expenditures, including but not limited to an increase in project charges, opening day marketing and reception or receptions. Consider approval of draft marketing materials. So we'll move on to the staff report associated with that. This is the staff report, which has the wrong date on it, I see. April 25, it should be. The Thomas Jackson installation opening and funding use. Background: the Thomas Jackson art installation is underway and expected to be installed on the following suggested timeline. May 13 to 22, Thomas Jackson will be in Tiburon for the installation and opening reception. May 20, Saturday, 4 to 5 p.m., official opening of the installation at South of Knoll Park. May 20, Saturday, 6 to 8 p.m., donor reception. To be determined, current location being looked at is the Sky Deck at the Tiburon Lodge. A San Francisco Chronicle reporter will be covering the installation process and the opening for a story the week of May 20. Tiburon 94920 called to do an article and is in conversation with Commissioner Gupta. And the Marin IJ should be contacted for article week of opening. And I neglected to leave it out because it's so obvious that the ARC would be at the top of our list. And I do apologize for that. We'll add that. Funds will need to be considered and approved for expenses related to the installation. The breakdown of funds is tiered as follows in terms of expenditures. First expended would be private donations, of which to date we've collected $5,330. Second would be the Tiburon Peninsula Fund Grant donation of $5,000. And lastly would be the Town of Tiburon Council support of $7,000. The funds are to be expended in that order. Any remaining funds will be returned to the Town of Tiburon. They will not remain in any H&A designated or undesignated fund. When considering approval of the additional funds for cost overruns, the Commission should consider future precedent. Thomas Jackson has advised H&A that the cost of materials has increased since the original quote, which was approved at $10,000. The additional cost being requested is $2,000 with the breakdown as follows. Artist fee, $8,000. Materials fee, $4,000. In parentheses, materials are fiberglass rods, $3,000. Fabric, hardware, fasteners, $1,000 for a total of $4,000. So the new total requested is $12,000 or $2,000 more than the original estimate. Staff recommends, number one, that H&A consider approval of funds earmarked for Thomas Jackson as follows. The artist request of funds to cover increased project costs above the approved amount of $10,000, which is $2,000 additional. Airfare, the March trip that's already been taken, $254.80, and the trip coming up for the installation, $395.80 for a total of $650.60. The hotel stay is entirely complimentary for Thomas Jackson at no cost. Thank you to the Tiburon Lodge. Marketing costs, all costs are approximate without shipping and tax. The banner, $70. Banner spots May 8 and 15 leading up to the exhibit or to the installation. And that banner has been seen by the commissioners and is online as Exhibit 1. Feather banner, which is shown in Exhibit 2 online. They are approximately $131 each. There might be up to 2 when you think of where you might want to place them on site. And I would say it would be on site. That would be up to the commission. Pole banners on downtown medians, same as you see for the Chamber of Commerce, etc., or any art museum that's advertising in a city. And when you see the Exhibit 3, which is online, you'll recognize those. They go down in price as you go up in number. And I would assume, since there's 1 to each side, that we could probably hit the number between 5 and 9 if you wanted to have an impact of, say, 3 poles, 6. For instance. So that brings it down to $24.32 from $32 each. Miscellaneous posters for town windows, etc., and card handouts for hotel lobbies, restaurants, etc. I derived this cost from a good online printer like PS Print, which is very, very reasonable. 25 posters and 200 cards came to about $150. And the donor reception, Skydeck, the lodge, we do not have the total here tonight. We had hoped to have it. We do not have it. And up to and not to exceed amount could be considered tonight, followed by a hard number before the installation. And number 5, newspaper, periodical, advertising, free coverage, articles or ads, etc., and advertising in the ARC, which is where you might want to put an advertisement in for the local population, anywhere from $400 to $600, depending on the size you would choose. Number 2, under staff recommendations, is H&A consider approval of artwork for marketing materials as presented. We don't yet have that artwork because it takes some custom placement to get to that point, and we just didn't, but we could very possibly by the next meeting and have it in time. That'll probably have to be done by the people making the banners, as we're not familiar with making that type of banner for this type of use. So that is what I have for this part of the staff. Has everyone had a chance to look at the banner, the feather banner, and the median banners?
Attachments.
Yeah, they're online as attachments, exhibits 1, 2, and 3.
Can I just interrupt for a procedural matter? I got a text from Deirdre saying we should make sure Patty turns on the live stream.
It already is on.
It is, okay. And then could everyone turn their mics on?
I'm sorry, but the town clerk has asked, and Greg Chanis has asked, that we only turn them on when we are speaking. So I will go check the live stream to see if I can see anything wrong, but it has been turned on. So we'll go have a look. I'm not getting...
You see it? Oh, yes.
Thanks.
Okay.
The feather banner will be the one with the advertisers' logos on it.
She's right, I got left off,
Oh,
but the whole audio's been going,
okay.
so I will fix it. Thank you.
Thank you, Deirdre.
Oh, I was reading.
Okay.
Off unless we are speaking.
Correct. Mic's off unless you're speaking.
Okay. Well, I just did a little quick back of the envelope for the costs associated with marketing. And, assuming, let's just say that we get, for the pole banners, 8 at approximately $25 each, that's $200. If you add all the other costs up that are there, you come out to $1,051. And that does not include the donor reception for the Sky Deck. For newspaper and periodical advertising, it's at $400 to $600, so I just put a line item of $500 on that. So the total comes to $1,051, not including the Sky Deck. Plus, let's add the airfare, that's $650. And that brings us to $1,701. And we have a request from Thomas Jackson to cover the overrun of the cost at $12,000. Initially, it was $10,000, but he is asking us if we have and are able to provide an additional $2,000 due to the costs of the materials that he has selected for this particular piece, the number of items for the piece, and the fact that inflation and presumably supply chain issues have also impacted that cost as well. He has also made it clear that if we are not able to do so, he is going to continue with the project, of course, but he is asking for help. So, that said, the total that we have, not including the Sky Deck, would come out to $13,701. And the current budget is at $17,330. I would like to also add that I am meeting with our final potential patron-level donor this Thursday, and she has indicated that she is very much interested in supporting the campaign still, and she's been out of the country, but she would like to put a patron level sum in. She hasn't indicated exactly what that would be, but it would probably be over $2,000. So assuming that all goes well at my coffee on Thursday, I'm sure that another check will be forthcoming. So we can kind of guesstimate we're at about 20,000 at this point.
Checking, did the 13,701 include the extra 2,000 he was asking for? I beg your pardon.
It did.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Yes.
And all other existing, already
many
existing costs,
sponsors?
not the marketing or
No, no,
the,
including the marketing,
Okay.
but not the Sky Deck.
just the sky deck
Yeah,
still?
that's outside.
Okay, thank you.
But how many feather banners did you calculate into this 13,000?
Just one.
Just one? We only have one?
It's for the sponsors' logos. The feather banner is a
Or
thank
you
you.
only want one for everybody's
Yeah, no.
individual banner?
No, no, we're going to put them all on one big banner.
That's not, okay. I just want a clarification.
Otherwise, if we have a lot of flags, we have quite a few
Yeah.
donors, we'd have a whole other installation there
My
probably.
other question regarding the marketing was that we did talk about having some soft safety ropes when the installation, and is that
Yes.
cost here, or is that going to be picked up by the town, or
That's-
just clarification?
That's a good question. Maybe that's something we should discuss with Post? I don't know.
Yes, about whether or not you would need them, and yes, I don't know the answer about that, about having something like that for the long run for other installations, et cetera. So I don't know who would.
My feeling is, my feeling is that, while I understand having a string or a wire or rope is something that's there, it could also create another potential liability if somebody falls on it or something. I also think it might detract from the artwork. I think a few well-placed signs that, tell people to keep dogs away and keep them on leash and not to touch the installation should be
So
sufficient.
this is not an installation that you actually walk through, like a
not
Cristo
sure. I
type?
mean,
I thought it was, so.
My assumption is that there are going to be many, many fiberglass poles and also some wire and fasteners as well that are keeping the fabric in a particular kind of formation. And so one runs the danger of, knocking into one of these poles or something. So I think the idea is to see it from around it, but not to kind of actually go through it.
Okay,
Yeah.
I think that'll have to be made really clear, so that's a project.
Thank you. It was just something that was discussed. in the
But you're right.
past.
And then another additional cost is the actual text panel that gives the artist's name, the title of the piece, which is Collaborative Nature. That's the title of the piece. And, our information about, the Tiburon Heritage and Arts Commission as being
A separate issue, I've heard from some people who are very environmentally conscious. They said using fiberglass poles, you got to make sure the little flakes off the fiberglass does not get into the bay because it's not safe.
well,
I just want to pass it on.
I'm hoping that in the 7.5 weeks that they're up, there won't be any material degradation occurring, and the wind or the ocean won't take a little microparticle and put it into the
Well,
bay.
I just thought if they're going to be sawing the length.
They're going to do that, in a separate location away from the park and the bay, yes.
Thank you.
And how many pole banners were you allowing for? If I was over there and not listening, I apologize.
8.
8, thank you.
And what about the design for these poles?
The design for the pole banners has not been completed. The only banner design is the one that is now Exhibit 1, and that is to go That's the main banner that goes, I guess, near Blackie's, I think. Is that right?
That's done.
Exhibit 1 or 2? Oh, here, okay, here.
I'm not an artist,
This is the one.
but may I just suggest that we start
This is
keeping,
nice.
the, sort of like a logo, the colors. I thought the banner was very nice, and if we could do those pole banners, sort of catching the
Is
colors.
your
So if
mic
you're-
on, Victoria? I just want to make sure.
Yeah. I'm on.
Okay, good.
Oh, I guess you want it louder.
Yeah, maybe a
I'll-
little louder.
Okay.
thanks.
Just keep, maybe in the design, just keep in mind the colors. I thought that was really attractive. And then so when you're
I have a
driving, every
question.
time you see those three colors, you know what it is.
What it
I have a
represents.
question. This banner, is it close to what he wants to install?
Similar, it's similar. It probably is going to be a little different, but I think it's,
Because this is beautiful. Hopefully it would be like this and better.
I hope so.
The colors.
Not
Yeah.
to disappoint, after seeing this, and then,
Well, they're in motion, so they're a little blurred, but there are fabric pieces on poles here as well, so hopefully the effect will be similar to what we're seeing. One idea, Victoria Fong, I had was for the banner, the pole banners, to continue with the same image even potentially and have one side one half and the other side the other half, so it's sort of like, kind of running that way, but have the different, have the location on one half and the title and the artist name on another half or
Yeah,
something like that.
because that'll be nice with the artist's name.
Yeah.
As people walk by the bike path. But anyway, we have similar ideas, but thank you.
I would plan on, if, we need to call the people who would be doing the feather banner and the pole banners. I got this cost from the same company who does the banners that Dave Gotts uses, and he thinks highly of them. Their prices are certainly better than most for these items. He's not sure if they do custom design. Did you feel, Arjun, that you could give a stab at a custom design on those median banners? Because if we want to go to them and ask them to do it, because they have all the specs, I would probably assume that you should build in maybe $200 for custom design
okay.
work on those two things. Because it takes some work to figure out how to fit logos on and make them look good and use the colors and side by side on the median poles
mean,
like you were talking about.
If, for the feather banner.
For the feather banner and the
And the pole,
median
the
banners,
median.
where you were talking about half and half. And so I think it's at least a couple $100 probably.
Okay, so should we just bump this
Yeah.
number up by $300 then to 14,000?
I would say. What were we at?
Yeah, and there'll be
Yeah.
the words and the names for the
Right.
sponsors.
I think so.
Okay,
In any newspaper periodical advertising, do you think with social media, that type of thing over a period of time, of course, you could always come back and do it later as well, but assumedly there's no cost with the Chronicle,
no.
perhaps with an article with the IJ. Was there any cost with the 94920 folks?
Nope.
Okay. And I imagine the ARC will do us a wonderful article. So would you be putting off that idea then for the time being of buying an ad?
I think so. I think once those pieces, those press pieces come out, we can then continue to circulate them via social media channels. I think we can certainly reach out to, SF Gate and other folks like that if they're interested in continuing to carry it. But Thomas Jackson also has a very lively Instagram channel that he can use, and he's got lots of folks here as well, and I think it should be okay. Nora?
The Chamber of Commerce website has an actual place for listing events.
Oh,
So we need to go and put this on there as soon as possible.
okay.
that's a good
Excellent,
idea.
that's right.
Yeah, great.
And I just wanted, could we just go through the numbers again?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, so the numbers are, let's see, did I leave out? Yes, $650 for Mr. Jackson's airfare for his May trip and his March trip. He's asking for $12,000 total for his, which includes the artist's fee and the materials, okay? And then the other costs are marketing costs. $70 for the banner. The feather banner is $131. With 8 pole banners, that's approximately $200 at $24.32 a piece. The miscellaneous posters and card handouts, $150. The donor reception is still to be determined. And then the newspaper periodical advertising is between $400 and $600. I said $500. Oh, and let's just go back to the banners for a second. As Patty pointed out, custom work will be maybe an additional $200 or $300. So I just said $300. No, I'm adding that to the cost of the actual banner cost. That if they're going to do a
Pole
custom
banner.
work,
The pole banner,
the feather banner.
the feather banner. So instead of
The
130.
pole banner, I think I can manage with the, you
Yeah.
know, it's a pretty simple design.
Good.
Yeah.
So instead of $131, you're saying it'll go up to 300.
300 or 331, yeah.
Clarification, I thought we were taking the 131 as it is and just including an additional 200 to 300 on top of the 131.
Right.
For design fees.
Right.
Okay.
So 331 or whatever,
Or 400,
or 400.
431.
And I would throw in that you would need to think about tax and shipping.
Yeah.
So tax at about 10% rate, I'm just going to go across the board on $751 worth of goods and custom work is $100. We'll just say 100. And shipping, that's it. I was going to include shipping. They don't weigh a lot, but I know that by the time you get a banner, the feather and the thing together, so $100 total.
More than a feather.
Okay, right.
Okay, so what do we, does somebody?
An extra 100 I just put on there as a new thing to add to your list, okay? And go ahead. Oh, and then our postcards, did we have those in there?
Got that.
You got that,
Yep.
right. So taking those things separately, or were you now, was there anything else to add into that?
I mean, I think that's it. I mean, you know, there could be another cost to the signage that we're contemplating for the site itself in terms of like the text panel and maybe also keep away or dogs on leash signs as well. So maybe that's another, I don't know, $200 maybe.
So I get when I total it up, $2,101
For,
for those numbers you just.
oh, okay. And so we're going to add that to the 12,000?
Right,
And that comes to a total of, what is it?
14,101.
14,101. So we're still coming in under the current amount, which is 17,330.
But the reception, I'm sure it.
Right,
That's right.
so now we go to the reception.
So now we're going to the reception. So,
And even grand opening ceremony would not be any, there won't be any expenses?
I don't foresee any, do you?
Well, or maybe you have some water available,
Something, yeah.
just in case
Sure.
they keep right.
Some water.
I mean, there are water fountains, there are drinking fountains around, but sure.
Water by the edge, maybe, but that's cheap, you know.
If I
Nora?
could say, when we did the groundbreaking for the mural, we didn't provide anything.
Anything, right. That's true.
So, and the other thing you want to be careful of, if you're going to provide water, is you do not want to provide plastic bottles.
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
No, I think it's okay. I mean, people
Okay, we
will
don't
bring
need
their own,
Right.
you
Yeah,
know,
we don't need to.
waters if they need to. So, and remember, there is this other donor that's out there. So I think at 14,101, that leaves approximately $3,000 left for this project. Which probably for a reception at the Sky Deck for 40 people, light appetizers, beer and wine, should be sufficient, and then tips for the servers.
Sorry, where is the Sky Deck? It's in
It's at the lodge.
Oh, at the lodge, okay.
Yeah,
Did Gary give you any sense of a rental fee or anything?
he said that he was going to try and get it discounted for us again, and because he appreciates us going back to him to have this event there. But he did not, and I will ask him again. But I think we can finalize that at the next meeting before the opening, I'm hoping.
Okay.
How many people for this?
We were envisioning around 40 total. That's the Tiburon Peninsula Foundation folks, and everybody's, spouses or
The
partners as well.
donors and so on.
The donors, there's about half a dozen patron-level
Yeah.
donors. And the town council, the PASP, and HNA.
And just while we're talking on the money, I was just wondering if we could kind of, for the future, if we got that big donor and we have extra funds, maybe we could think about asking Thomas Jackson to document this whole process. And I don't know if he takes it or if we need to buy some more prints for potential,
I
donors.
can speak to that a little bit. Thomas Jackson did mention that he has a filmmaker who will be there with him, who is kind of documenting his work and his sort of trajectory, I guess. And he did say that this is the largest project he's done up to date. So he's very excited about it, and it's a major event in his career. So that's gonna be good.
That's good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So maybe we should then address the point of the donor reception at the Sky Deck. Should we, any thoughts on that for 40 people? Is that, will that $2,000 to
I think there will be
$3,000?
more because you are having, you said that apart from the heritage and art and his people and, who else? I mean, how do you count 40?
I don't know.
I'm thinking there should be some people of the town.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we said the town council.
Town council, PASP, so that's about, what is that, a dozen people altogether there? 10
Well,
people?
the commissioners are 7 plus 4.
Yeah, and
so-
then the public art people.
Yeah, we've got that, right. So I think that 40 is probably pretty reasonable.
Because how
Because
many,
we're talking about the commissioners, the PASP, the town council, and then the VIP
donors?
donors who will probably bring their
Spouses.
partner or friend, and sponsors. And that would be if you invited, that's where it gets kind of unknown. How many VIP? We've got like, how many VIP who are above 5 people? I
5?
think, yeah, 5.
5 or 6?
So that's 12 people. Tiburon Peninsula Foundation on their board have, I think, what is it, about 7 people? Am I correct, Nora? Perhaps?
They are all
Yeah.
with their spouse,
Now,
maybe.
Yeah, so, right.
Oh,
Or
you
with
want
So
to
you're
their
double?
adding that.
spouse.
Well, I mean, if they
Right.
bring their,
That's the whole thing. I thought
So, well,
that
donors,
40
we've doubled already, right? To
Yes,
12.
donors double.
So
and then-
TPF, that's 14 then. Then PASP is 4, plus partners and spouse.
I think that that's where you question whether we are hosts, and it would just be the
okay.
commissioners and PASP.
Well, let's see, what about the town council then? How many,
They would just come as individuals. That's
So
how
that's-
they
how many
usually
is
travel
that?
on that type of thing.
okay, 4. So right now, we're with donors and TPF spouses, we're at 26 plus 4 is 30. We're at 30. Maybe we should do it for 50 people then.
Yeah,
I think
I
so.
wouldn't go above that. I mean, it's reasonable that not everyone is going to come from TPF
I
or
think
from the
50
council.
is reasonable. I believe it's good if we invite some of the prosperous
Prospective
donors.
donors.
Yeah, they're coming. They're
Or
included
the
in this.
ones that in future might donate.
And also
Well-
Thomas Jackson might have his team.
The
that I'm
problem
sure
about
have-
this is that this is a VIP Meet the Artist that was already set up for those donors who donated
Already
a
have.
specific thing.
But
So
we can
if you
do something like
invite
that in the, you know,
prospective, that doesn't
Alright.
work.
In the summer also, while this thing is up, we can
That'll be
still
for
do
the future.
something.
Yeah, I was going to suggest that there could be a second
Sure.
thing.
All
But
right.
no, this needs to really stay tight around what it was
Well, when I,
promised to those VIP people.
when I spoke to Gary, I did say between 40 and 50.
Right.
So I think we're good.
Then I guess the expense is also the menu, you know, wine and how many hors d'oeuvres,
Light appetizers, so.
how many,
How many?
you know.
Yeah.
I
But
think
is
that
it a
when you-
cocktail party or what?
The real, I mean, I could give you a ballpark figure about food and wine and staff, but it's the rental that is the key. Because, for instance, when we checked into the China Cabin, their flat rental fee was $2,400.
Oh, wow.
And then X number of dollars for additional hours. So because a hotel is different and they have multiple spaces, and it's not a jewel box, it's beautiful, but it's a big deck.
And it's not their bar or their dining room
Right.
either.
It
Yeah.
could be considerably less. I think it might be kind of hard to do without waiting to have a price. I don't. know
Okay.
how to-
You think that the hotel would charge for this space? Oh, yeah. If you are buying the food from...
I don't know. That's what I mean. I mean, that is the
I
key
think if you're going
right
for a
there.
reception,
It could
how
be
would the
zero.
hot- Yes.
And they could
How
just
would
be
the
going
hotel
on food
charge?
and
No, I
wine.
don't think they would charge
Yeah.
for
I
this.
know in
So that's what I'm
Chapin
saying,
with
to
If
try
you
to
are
guess
paying-
is.
with restaurants, they charge for the space even though you're having a party
No,
there.
because
so-
they cannot have other clients. It's different.
Yeah,
In
this
a
is
hotel, when
space.
they give that
Mm-hmm.
space, usually it's one
From the
evening, you
website,
say
it
when,
seems like,
you know. I don't know, but most probably, my experience is in a hotel, when you're having a reception, you basically pay for the drinks and the food. In a
Well,
hotel.
Let's see, let's see. Yeah, Nora?
This is off the money, because I really think you need to get hard numbers,
Yes.
Right,
and we can't really speculate.
Right.
right.
That's true, yes.
And the,
and what they're willing to donate.
Right.
Yeah.
And, do you want caviar, or do you want, prosciutto?
No,
so the
yeah.
May 6th, the date
Some
we're,
smoked salmon and so.
just to
something
jump to
accepted.
that, if we're proposing a May 16
Meeting.
date, which is before the opening, but that is only, he's here, it's 4 days before the actual VIP. You have to kind of have that nailed down already.
Yeah.
So if you want to just pick a high-ish number,
Sure.
not to exceed at this point, and then readjust, that might be the good
I mean,
way to go.
I'm counting on this one last donor. I'm meeting her for coffee to kind of, finalize the deal. And she's very nice. So I thought, let's see what
Hopefully,
happens.
if she donates 2,000, I think 100, if we are doing
3,000.
for,
Yeah, she's going to donate.
might give to,
up.
for 100 per person, it's a cocktail party.
Sure.
That's,
It's okay.
okay, so what you could do is, if everyone's willing, is call a very short special meeting. You do have to come in person, a week from now, or next Monday,
Okay.
so that you really have
Well,
time
I
to
want to.
just vote on
Yeah,
that
I want
one.
to apologize that even though I did try my best to get this number,
Yeah,
Oh, it's very
I mean,
hard.
other than going there and like,
understandable.
begging,
Keep saying they'll get back to you.
yeah, yeah,
He
yeah.
also had to check with Luna Blue, as I
Yes,
recall.
yes.
And that could have been an extenuating circumstance for him,
But I will.
Ranzo and Krista.
because they're
doing-
running the
They're
food,
doing
the catering,
They're
the
doing the
food.
catering there.
Yeah,
Oh, they are doing it, okay.
So I'll follow up this week, and Patty, I'll get back to you, and maybe we can see if we can do a
call a special meeting.
special meeting in the
We
next
just need a
week
quorum
or-
of 4,
Yeah.
so, okay.
I would be happy to come with you because I know that.
Okay, that's great.
Okay. So then we would just leave that off of the considerations for the motions
Sure.
and look through the recommendations and make motions as appropriate.
Victoria.
Yes, I would like to move that we approve the $2,000 for
Gosh, this
the
is not
artists.
funny.
Can I, a procedural
Oh,
matter?
yes, we do need to have public
Public
input
comment.
first.
I have gone, this
There's
is not
public.
coming.
And we have Richard Rosen asking
Oh, I
to
see.
have public input.
Oh, it's here now, okay. Okay, yes. Now,
So all other microphones off, please, if they are on.
we turn it off.
My public input doesn't need to be. I just want a clarification before you guys make the motions and vote. On the paragraph that says, funds expended in that order, on the first page, any remaining funds will be returned to the town of Tiverton. I'm not sure what that means. It goes back into the general fund?
So let me explain. Okay. So yes, it would go back into the general fund because its town funds were earmarked for the support of the Thomas Jackson project specifically. So they couldn't just automatically, we couldn't say, couldn't we put them in the public art fund or couldn't we put them in the general operating fund? It is not that the commission could not come back to the town council in person and ask for those remaining funds to be rolled over into something else, but they are part of the operating funds that have been specifically earmarked for this project. So,
I would just make the comment that it's a little awkward when we're raising money and now we're actually starting to raise money, so this is a very positive thing for it not to be somehow accounted for that it's actually, these are our projects that it's being raised for. I know you're working on the town to get a budget line item or whatever it is, so, you know, that may solve the problem, if you can get that, but I'm just saying, you know, to have it disappear into the, you know what I'm saying? Yes. I don't think people are gonna be willing to give the future art budget and have it go into the zero cost.
But for purposes of clarification,
oh,
we're not talking.
microphone. Yeah,
Oh.
please.
Yeah, for purposes of clarification, though, we're talking specifically about money from the town that will go back to the town. And the money is to be spent in the order that is set forth. So we're not talking about money that was given by anyone other than the town for this specific purpose. So that if it is not used for this specific purpose, then it is essentially refunded to the town.
Right, that was my comment about it's an awkward situation. If you can explain the arcane budgeting process to somebody who's trying to give us money for our project.
I'll add that I'm fairly certain that the funds will be expended.
So that's the only way to get around it.
It will be spent over.
All right.
So I am not seeing any other public comment.
Then, thank you, Nora. I will move that we approve the expenditure of an additional $2,000 to Thomas Jackson for this specific art project.
I second it.
Okay, we'll have a vote. Okay, Vice Chair Gupta?
Well,
Oh,
I have
excuse
a
me.
question, because isn't it more than that? Because it's 2,000 is what he's asking for the actual installation. But we're talking about additional monies of approximately $1,395.56.
Right, she's just splitting it up from one, she's saying that the Thomas's budgetary request is one
Oh,
thing,
okay.
and then the costs for marketing and everything else is another thing,
I
yes.
just thought that would be clear. We could Arjun could tell the artist to
Right.
go ahead, whereas the other,
Okay.
you know, all the
Right.
advertising, we're still working on.
Okay, thank you for clarification.
Sure. Patty?
Okay, so we'll do the roll call vote. Chair Gupta,
Yes?
Commissioner Fong,
Yes.
Commissioner Noguez,
Yes.
Commissioner Mujica Beavers,
Yes.
Commissioner Hall.
Commissioner Hall.
Fran?
Yes.
We're voting on the additional $2,000 fund
Oh, yes.
for, thank you.
I approve.
Thank you. All in favor? Aye. Thank you.
Aye.
Aye.
Next up is the airfare cost, already fixed at $650.60. If we would like a motion to approve.
I move to accept the airfare costs and pay back the artist for, reimburse him for the airfare of $650.
I second.
Oh,
Okay.
Second is by,
Victoria Fong
Mojica.
or
No.
Mojica.
okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Roll call vote. Chair Gupta,
Yes?
Commissioner Fong,
Yes.
Commissioner Noguez,
Yes.
Commissioner Mujica Beavers,
Yes.
and Commissioner Hall.
Yes.
Thank you. All in favor? Thank you. I think you could do a all-in-one marketing costs listing the following if you'd like to do it that way. I believe it's been well outlined during the discussion. But if you'd like to take them one by one, that's fine. I just want to say.
Yes.
Was like,
I
you said
get
14,000.
$1,995.56.
What was it,
Oh, but-
14,000?
No, just marketing. So I think it's 851, but.
Oh, because I have to
If you'd
deduct the
like to.
650, because we took that separately.
Well, we've got the banner at 70. We've got the feather banner at 131 plus custom, so that's, well, so let's say that's 400, yeah?
430, there's.
331? Is that 200 to 131 maybe?
Well, let me just say, I said 70 for the banner, 131 for the feather, 200 for the pole banners, 8 of them, 150 for the posters and cards, 200 for custom work, and 100 for tax.
Oh, okay.
Am I missing anything else?
There's the newspaper and advertising cost, which is,
500.
I'm putting that off
oh,
to see if it was needed in the future. but I don't think-
You also said shipping.
What's 100?
That's shipping and
and then
You
we've got
have-
the miscellaneous posters for 150, so let's put that into,
So that was 851, I mean, you could round it off and say $1,000.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, it's better, yeah.
okay.
1,000,
The marketing costs.
just 1,000.
Do I make a motion?
I move that we approve $1,000 to be spent on marketing and publicity items for this project.
I'll second.
Roll call vote. Chair Gupta,
Yes?
Commissioner Fong,
Yes?
Commissioner Noguez,
Yes.
Commissioner Mujica Beavers,
Yes.
Commissioner Hall.
Yes.
Thank you. All in favor? So the donor reception, we're going to try for a special meeting. Would you like to choose a date that you think you might all, I believe Commissioner Noguez will be gone
Yes.
by next week. Jaleh Etamad, the chair, will be back. Should I send out an email to canvass everyone about getting her return date and finding the quickest date we can get for the reception, cost, vote?
From what I remember, I believe
I think she's,
chair is not back until almost May 10th
That's right.
at
I
a
think
different
so.
meeting.
I was
So
thinking she was
maybe
only
we
going for a
just
week.
have to work with what we have.
Sure,
Yeah,
right? Okay.
she's not back till the 10th.
We do need 4 people. And when do you leave, Chair Noguez? Reminder one more time.
I'm gone from Tuesday, May 9th,
Oh,
until Saturday, May 27th.
okay.
So you will
Let me
miss all
just.
this.
And so I won't be able to actually help.
Oh, but next week you could meet. I'm sorry, I thought you were gone next week. I was off by 1 week. So if a special quick meeting happened on the 1st or the 2nd, we would certainly have that information, I'm sure.
Yes, but I have a hearing for the
Oh, okay.
Personnel Commission on the 1st. I have an appointment in Stanford on the 2nd. I
Does-
could do Wednesday, the 3rd. I have another appointment on Thursday in the morning, but I could do the afternoon.
Maybe you could send out an email.
It's
Patty.
almost, I just want to make sure we could do it because it's so short, any time of day. But is there anyone
for
here who
what?
has
Yeah,
Right.
probably
gone?
toward
Just
the
to
end
meet
of
to
next
look
week
at
would
cost
be
of the skydive.
helpful. Then we'll have
End of
enough
next
time to
week.
pick up
I see.
info.
So the
Okay.
4th, so
I'm
The
here
4th
until
is good?
4th
ninth.
or the 5th, if we're going to do it
Yeah,
late.
I think that would work. I'll be gone.
Okay, how is everyone with May 4?
That's Wednesday?
Thursday.
Thursday.
Thursday, May 4th? Yes, that's fine.
Could we say is later, is 5:30, do you all prefer 5:30?
That's good.
Sure.
Okay,
At
for
what
public?
time?
Okay, does that work for everyone? It's
At
got to be
what time?
short.
At 5:30?
On the
Is
4th.
it a short one?
May 4, 5:30 for 15 minutes, you're just going to
Couldn't we
hear
do
the
it
cost?
at 5?
Sure, that's
Because
fine
at
with me.
6 there is something at the library.
That's fine.
Okay, 5 PM on the 4th.
5 PM on May 4th. So, okay, that item will be moved
At
to a
the
special
town hall?
meeting at 5 PM on May 4, because we have a quorum here for that, and it will be short, in person at the town hall.
Great.
And the second, number 2, was to consider approval of artwork for marketing materials as presented. We don't really have any new marketing materials. You have seen the banner's been ordered, and we know everyone likes it. We could make a motion to use that as, does someone like a motion, use those colors?
Yeah,
and
my
use that?
idea was to take that and then just split it up and have one half with the location and one half with the artist's name and the title of the piece and the logo and the Heritage and Arts logo. So just kind of split it up into 2 halves. Does that make sense?
One side you want the name of the artist?
Yeah, like if you just take this
The exhibit
here, this banner, right?
Yeah?
Here, we have, just take the black, cut it in half, take this and move it to one side, and take this and move it to the other side. So-
And this part you leave it like that?
Yeah, it's just, but it'll be split, because remember, the pole has one half
Oh,
and
yes,
one half,
yes.
so it looks like it's split,
Okay, yes, that sounds good.
okay?
But these things will not be there, no?
They'll be on one half to tell where it is, and then the name and the work and the artist.
Somewhere that it doesn't go in on
Yeah,
this.
I'll create some, I'll work it out.
works.
Okay.
Okay, shall we move on to action item number 2, which I believe there will just be a very brief report and from Commissioner Noguez, and then it will be moved for a longer report to the meeting possibly in June.
Correct. So just to give you a brief update, it appears that the ribbon cutting ceremony will most likely be moved to July because of travel constraints of the dignitaries. So that's all there is to say.
That's for the mural,
The ribbon cutting, yes.
is July 2nd?
No, we're looking at July
July.
instead of June for the ribbon cutting.
So it's not still, you don't have the date.
No, we don't have a date yet because it depends on the scheduling of the dignitaries. And they don't travel alone, they travel with a whole entourage.
Well, thanks. Actually, I kind of like it a little later. But the other thing is that probably for us is the signage, that we need to schedule it in time for them.
Yes,
Thank you.
thank you,
Thank you, Nora.
thank you.
Okay, and we will move on to action item number 3, which is to review the updated draft for Ellie Block commemorative book contribution and consider final approval. Everyone has the final draft, or what we believe may be the final draft, and has been approved by Mr. Block, who's seen it, and approved by email, which I do have a copy of, but I did not upload it to it came too late to become part of the agenda.
Nora.
Oh, I just wanted to say thank you to everyone who worked on this. I think it looks beautiful, and it's a very wonderful recognition of her many accomplishments.
Oh, thank you. Victoria, we did that.
No, we all worked on it, Patty, Arjun, and myself, and it's tough. But I would like to have the commission consider, putting this on the agenda to talk about the length and how we're going to go forward with it without being editors.
Yes,
Thank you.
yes.
And before we go for a motion to accept this as the final piece,
I move that we,
I'm not, I just want
Oh,
to say
public
that I'm
comment.
not seeing any public comment. And we are no longer taking email comment, so no public comment. Email comment we do take, but in advance in writing, I should clarify. So if you'd like to make a motion?
I move that we accept the, what do you call it, this remembrance,
The final
Final-
commemorative biography.
final biography. Oh, the updated draft, I'd like to have the commission approve the final draft for Ellie Block commemorative book contribution.
Second.
Okay, roll call vote. Chair Gupta,
Yes?
Commissioner Fong,
Yes,
Commissioner Noguez.
Yes.
Commissioner Mujica Beavers.
Yes.
And Commissioner Hall.
Yes.
oh, yes.
Thank you. All in favor. So the only thing that did not, it fell off of the version that I printed out, but that was the suggestion that the regular date for the next meeting would have fallen after the May 20 installation. And since we would probably like to do a last-minute wrap-up, it was suggested that we move it 1 week early to May 16, Tuesday, May 16. We know that Commissioner Noguez will not be here, but Commissioner Etamad will be back.
Sorry, this was for what meeting?
Yes,
Be on
if we
on
wait
Monday.
till the fourth Tuesday, it's the 24th, and it's after the installation, so we were talking about the Tuesday before, which is the 16th.
Like 3 weeks.
Oh, it's Tuesdays this.
3 weeks away instead of 4 weeks away.
So, but it's not 15, the Tuesday is 16.
Yes.
Yeah, that's it, yeah. It's just 1 week earlier than our normal meeting. Would that work for everyone here? I know Jolly, it'll work, we talked about it, and that worked for her.
Fine with me.
Is everyone, am I taking this as a yes?
I think Commissioner Mujica Beavers is
Yes, I see she's just still checking.
Well, it's the day I have.
Will you be here on the 16th of May for a meeting?
May 16, can you? May
Tuesday.
Yes, I vote yes.
Okay. So it looks like we've got, we certainly have a quorum. I mean, things can happen, and Trish Farron will hopefully be able to make it too. Okay, so we are ready to adjourn this meeting and go over to the joint meeting. Sorry, we're a little bit late here, with the Public Art Selection Panel. So it'll take me a moment to switch agendas online.
Is this officially adjourned now?
I'm sorry, officially adjourning the regular Heritage and Arts meeting,
It's a jolly tonight.
April 25 at 6:30,
By the chair?
6:36
Meeting
PM.
adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We served on the jury.